C'era con me questa notte, piccoli passi che faccio con te, seguo il tuo cuore, seguo la luna, così nascosta lontana da me, il mondo gira con noi questa notte. Lontana da qui, un posto dove scoprire il mio cuore, sapere se lui più amarti o no, e girerò, e girerò, il cuore mio. Sei tu che giri lontana da me, ma sì, io so che tu sei la mia luna, qualcosa mostri, qualcosa no, chi sono strade azzurre nel cielo, chi sono strade nel cielo. Potessi fermarmi così e girerò il cuore mio assieme
virtue of the powers conferred upon me as acting Chancellor of the University of Zululand, I hereby consecute this congregation for the conferment of degrees and awarding of diplomas and certificates. You may be seated. The motto of the sector remains that of saving lives in the academic project. It is in this in mind and respecting the sanctity of life, the proceedings of the graduation have been altered to ensure that we remain compliant with protocols to address the pandemic. Graduates are expected to have worn their hoods as they approach the stage. I thank you.
Acting Chancellor, Professor Mtose, Chairperson of Council, Ms. Nomarashia Kaluza, members of Council, representative from the Mkonazi Tribal Authority or Traditional Authority, dignitaries present, staff and students, ladies and gentlemen, and for this occasion, most importantly, our graduandi. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this important event in the almanac of the university. The significance of today's achievement is a mark of perseverance against formidable odds. This starts with schooling. Research shows that learners who make it to higher education represent about 50% of those or of the cohort that started in grade 1. Let me put this sharply by way of example. Of the 1.4 million children who enrolled in grade 1 in 1998, only 558 made it to matric in 2009. This means close to 1 million children are swallowed into this big dark hole. Of this, a fraction make it to tertiary. According to Higher Education South Africa, under 1/3, about 33%, of students complete their studies in regulation time. Our graduation rate of 15% is among the lowest in the world. These statistics are shocking, but they do underscore that your achievement today is no mean achievement. You represent a very small minority of the elite and privileged in your society. Today's graduations are significant also as they come at a time when the country and the whole world are grappling with the onset of the devastating COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic has had disastrous effect on teaching and learning. You succeeded despite having to contend with the odds of having to study remotely, disconnected from lecturers and your fellow students, and still you prevailed. But I want to cast your achievement differently, to speak about your graduation as the beginning of an obligation. Many of you here are beneficiaries of some form of scholarship or another. Many of you, if not all of you here, succeeded because of the efforts of your parents, siblings, teachers, neighbors, friends, sponsors, that believed in you. They all took a chance on you. We are grateful that you did not disappoint. As a beneficiary of the kindness of others, expectations are that you'll do the same. It is the only way that we can make this world a better place. It is by being generous with our time and service. In doing so, we will be responding to the call best captured by the former President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, when he declared, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." In these perilous and difficult times, when all about us seem to collapse, we have an obligation to keep hope alive and to give hope a chance. This graduation, taking place in the grip of a devastating pandemic, is on its own an expression of hope. We have lived through it by being responsible, adhering to the medical protocols that were crafted for our benefit. We cannot take that lightly. We need to keep reminding ourselves that we were the lucky ones. For the grace of God, we were spared. We cannot afford the luxury of being disconnected from the great social upheavals of our times. We, who are the children of the poor, cannot and should not shy away from responding to the needs of the still marginalized in our communities. We need to see the patterns and linkages between disease and poverty, the relationship between social justice and life expectancy, and how the battle is always about dignity and human rights, as Larry Brillino said. It is worth stating that the service is at the center of this university strategic plan, the plan which seeks, among others, to transform our university into an institution which, in the first instance, serves the needs of an African constituency and intellectually wears the vestments of its social environment. An institution which responds to the needs of society in which it is located and helps to transform for the better the lives of the people in whose preoccupation and location it is embedded. I would be remiss if I do not commend faculties, deans, supervisors for sustaining the knowledge project. This year, we have a significant number of candidates. We have 24 from the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, 7 from the Faculty of Science, Agriculture and Engineering, 14 from the Faculty of Education, and 3 from the Faculty of Commerce, Administration, and Law. Deans, you have done yourself, and I think you deserve an applause. And as we prepare our lives for a life of service, let us be inspired by the words of Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. King had this to say: "If it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep it so well, like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep it so well, like Beethoven composed music. Sweep it so well, like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep it so well so that all the host of heaven and earth will pause and say, here lies a great street sweeper who did his job so well." Acting Chancellor, after this message, it is my honor to introduce today's speaker, a man who embodies the story that says you must always be in the business of moving and learning. And for our graduate, one could actually say Your achievement today is not the end, nor the end of the beginning, but perhaps it is just a beginning of a wonderful journey. David Slake, our speaker today, was born in the 70s. He obtained his electrical engineering national diploma at Wits Technikon in 1997, and thereafter completed his electrical engineering bachelor's degree in technology through Val Technikon in 2003. He worked as a technician and thereafter as an electrical engineer for Highfield Steel and Vanadium Corporation from 1995 to 1999, and was focused on technical and automation projects. He then worked for Social Chemical Industries from 1999 to 2003 as a senior training officer. During this period, he conducted and developed training solutions for the electrical operations division and served in the power plant operations standard generating body of SAQA from 2001 to 2004. He joined Festo from 2011 as a didactic solution engineer, Southern and Eastern Africa. In this capacity, he presented in a number of conferences and exhibitions. His key role being to provide and implement solutions for technical education and industry to increase employability and productivity. He served as a national expert for South Africa in mechatronics for WorldSkills, where he led teams to compete in Sao Paulo, Brazil in 2015 and Abu Dhabi in 2017. In 2018, he was the lead expert in the intelligent manufacturing skill when South Africa hosted the BRICS Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, we could not find a no better person to encourage your students than to find a person who, as they put it, tried and tested in the field. David Slake.
Thank you. Dumelang, Sanbonani, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Chasing a dream requires passion and hard work. It is therefore time to celebrate the hard work that led to this occasion. But first, I would like to acknowledge and pass my greetings to the Acting Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Chairperson of Council, the management of the university, staff, most importantly, our graduates, and all of you who are gathered here. Education is the most powerful weapon for changing the world. Education is the most powerful weapon for changing the world. These are the words spoken by our former president, Mr. Nelson Mandela. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are going to secure our future as responsible adults and citizens, we need great minds. We need creativity, innovation, and thinking out of the box. In recent past and to date, South Africa has been limping from one crisis to another. It has been in hospital for quite some time now, instead of recovery. Unfortunately, it is slowly slipping into ICU. Corruption, load shedding, state-owned enterprises failing, unemployment, COVID pandemic on one hand, 2021 riots, and the recent floods in our country. These events should only unite us into common action to heal the wounds of this country. We need new ideas to increase employability and productivity if we are going to stem the tide of these ills. We look upon these graduates to make a difference. Graduates, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito, then you'll know why. These were the words spoken by the Dalai Lama. During this time of greatest need, it is also time with great opportunities. We have seen new growth sectors emerging, and we need to take advantage of. Even though we are having rolling load shedding, there is an opportunity in that because we need to invest in increased electricity generation. We've seen investments into renewable energies. Not only will it secure reliability of supply, it will also reduce pollution and also increase energy reliability for that. Furthermore, we look towards making sure that we safeguard clean drinking water as well as our rivers through water supply and management. More importantly, I think we all agree that the recent floods have actually caused much damage. So there will be obviously opportunities within the construction sector where we need to rebuild and also build new infrastructure. Lastly, for us as companies, as well as institutions and government, we need to improve on our competitiveness. Hence, we need to start looking quite seriously in implementing and adopting principle emphasized in the 4IR or the Fourth Industrial Revolution. To the graduates, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I think Professor Siepe has already said much about it. It was spoken by John F. Kennedy. I also implore you, this is the time to take the initiative and help build our country. Education is the most powerful weapon for changing the world. When I speak in front of you and see these young, fine people, I'm full of hope that the future will be in good hands. Education is not only the most powerful weapon to change the world, but a powerful equalizer. South Africa is seen as the most unequal society in the world, but through these young, talented minds, we hope to close the gap. I am honored to be here to share a few words with you and some insights into the world of work, which will be your next phase of your journey. When you leave the university, the least expectation that you might have is that you will be employable. Employability refers to your ability to gain initial employment, maintain employment, obtain new employment if required. In simple terms, employability is about being capable of getting and keeping fulfilling work. Employability is having a set of skills, knowledge, understanding, and personal attributes. You now have these skills and knowledge to be employable. I must emphasize that the future lies in self-employment. Use these skills to start businesses and enterprises. We need more bankable research from universities, research that allows government and industry to invest in. If we look at the 2021 pass rate, we obtained only 7% of matric exemption with maths and science last year to allow them to enter universities. The university, through its research, must produce a blueprint of how this can improve. This will allow more young people to enter the space of engineering and technology, therefore produce relevant skills to drive the economy and grow it. We need research that leads to product development and startups. Startups that are very sustainable as small businesses. First on the International Business-to-Business Accelerator Program, tech founders are searching for ambitious startups who are working on solutions that can make a relevant contribution in innovation. During the International 20-week program, selected startups will receive 25,000 euros in equity-free funding, high-class coaching and mentoring, as well as the opportunity to work closely with Festo or any other contributor in that space on a pilot project. If you have an idea and you want to build on it, I urge you to take up this opportunity by going through the Tech Founder website. Our focus for 2022 is on AI solutions for 3D design, optimization, and technologies to extract data from engineering drawings. And yes, these are very relevant topics for the fourth industrial revolution. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. These words were spoken by Charles Darwin. The fourth industrial revolution, or Internet of Things, has been with us for some time now, with others now talking about the fifth industrial revolution. Thanks to COVID, we are now embracing the benefits that comes with technology and innovation. The workspace has changed and continues to change. More and more companies use hybrid working models whereby remote working is accepted. Focus is now on productivity rather than the number of hours you clock in. We have seen, as a result, new skills profiles emerging, such as in industrial big data, as well as IT and integration managers, digital mentors, digital ethics officers, Lean 4.0 engineers, and so on. This is just to name a few. Increased productivity and flexibility is not only required from staff, but through systems, machines, and equipment we use. This has meant that companies like Festo, we had to be innovative and deliver products that are smart, more efficient, flexible, and cost-effective. Hence the reason Festo invests 9% of its total turnover in R&D. By the way, graduates, this is not the end of your journey, but a new phase with new goals and objectives. To the parents, a great tribute to you for all your efforts and support you gave to these talented young men and women before us. To the university, lecturers, and mentors, your contribution in harnessing their talent is commended. Graduates, all your hard work has finally paid off. I'm sure some of you will now ease up on the Red Bulls and the Monsters. In conclusion, I am reminded of a story of a young man who eventually joined Festo 7 years ago, when I was still the national expert for mechatronics. The first time I spoke to him was when I called him to evaluate his eligibility to compete in the WorldSkills competition in mechatronics. If you are not familiar with WorldSkills, it's simply the Olympics of skills. The young man was studying electrical engineering at a college, and I asked him why has he applied to compete in mechatronic skill instead of electrical installation. He replied to me that his passion was in mechatronics and he has applied everywhere, but was declined entry because his matric results did not meet the requirements. I then asked him what made him believe that he can compete in the skill or even stand a chance to win the competition to represent South Africa in the international stage. He then said to me, he has dedication, the drive, and the love of technology. I told him he needed a partner and a mentor to coach them. Thereafter, I'll consider the team for the regional competition. And 2 days later, he called me and said, I have a partner and I have a mentor. We want to start with the preparations. He was so passionate and excited, but at the time, he knew little of the knowledge and practice required. I then proceeded to explain the requirements. Only then he realized that much more was required to compete. He needed systems, equipment, and mentoring from experts to even stand a chance. He then paused and asked me a question. Will you be able to provide these systems and expertise required? Because I am going to win the competition. Initially, I was taken aback, but the persistence, determination, and the conviction from this young man was most astonishing. I could not say no to him. He went on to win the regional competition, thereafter the national competition. This was talent we at Festo wanted and could not miss out on. I then prepared a series of tasks and interviews, of which he passed with flying colors. This young man's story was so inspirational that even the media took notice. The career program called Ispani called us to do a feature on him at Festo, and it was aired on SABC with the hope that it will inspire others. I took him on as technology happens when you least expect it to. I took him on as an intern and then became his mentor once he joined the company. His dream of becoming a mechatronics technician was slowly coming alive. He then represented South Africa at the international competition in Sao Paulo. Even though he did not win, he did far better than the previous South African competitors. 2 years later, his internship was concluded. We then appointed him as a technical support technician, realizing his dream. In 2020, I received a call from Festo USA asking me if they can consider him for a systems engineer position for cyber physical systems, of which I agreed. He unfortunately could not get a work visa, so he lost out on this opportunity. Why am I telling you this story? Success is not an accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, loving what you're doing. With that said, go into the world and do well, but more importantly, go into the world and do good. Thank you.
That is Clark. Let me thank you very much for that very pointed message. More about that we should prepare ourselves not for the world that no longer exists, but for a future that we will confront. And I think there are a few words that I think the graduates must take. One is to give expression to the notion that the education is a great equalizer. It will not happen on its own. Two, the importance of artificial intelligence. And three, words like optimization. For the fourth industrial revolution capabilities. And lastly, and most importantly, is the point that you also raised, that it is not the strongest species or the smartest that survive, but those that can adapt. And that has been the mode of operation all over the world. Thank you very much for that input. Acting Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, and honored guests, we shall now proceed with conferring degrees and award diplomas and certificates. I request the candidates to take up their positions. I shall then call the Dean of the Faculty to present the candidates for various degrees and diplomas.
By virtue of the power vested in me, I confer the degrees to candidates whose names appear on the program.
I now have the honor to request the Dean of the Faculty to present the graduates to you.
Acting Chancellor, I request you to confer the degrees, award diplomas, and certificates to the candidates who have qualified for these awards, as well as those persons in absentia whose names appear in the program.
I confer the degrees and award diplomas and certificates to candidates whose names appear on the program, as requested.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you postgraduate candidates.
I confer, by virtue of the power vested in me, I confer the postgraduate degrees to candidates whose names appear on the program.
Acting Chancellor, Doctor of Agricultural Sciences.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Agricultural Sciences on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Acting Chancellor, Doctor of Philosophy, Microbiology.
We confer the Doctor of Agricultural Sciences on candidates whose names appear on the program in absentia. I confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Biochemistry and Microbiology on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Zuzi Kebo Golden Ntombele. Title of the study, Synthesis and Characterization of Zinc Oxide Nanoparticles using Consortium of Bioflocculant Producing Microorganisms isolated from Umlalazi catchment, KwaZulu-Natal, and their application for wastewater treatment, supervised by Prof. Basson and co-supervised by Prof. Pulabutra and Prof. Madorob. I now call the supervisor to read the summary of the thesis.
This study focused on the production of the bioflocculants from Bacillus afensis and Bacillus species and their consortiums. The consortium bioflocculant was further used to synthesize zinc oxide nanoparticles. The products were further used for wastewater treatment, dye removal, as an antimicrobial agent, and evaluated also for biosafety against normal cells and cancerous cells. All products were found to be very effective in removing dyes from various solutions and different pollutants in wastewater. Zinc oxide nanoparticles were found to possess antimicrobial activity against various bacterial strains and maintain 60% cell viability for normal cells and are non-toxic to normal cells. In conclusion, zinc oxide nanoparticles can be successfully synthesized using a bioflocculant as a capping agent. In addition, zinc oxide nanoparticles are non-toxic to human cells, which render them as an alternative flocculant. Thank you, Chair.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present Dr. Ntombela. Dr. Ntombela, congratulations.
Acting Chancellor, Master of Nursing,
Confer the degree of Master of Nursing on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Stembile Kanyil, Jabulile Temperance Mbambo, Mpilo Ndumiso Shang, degree with distinction. Acting Chancellor, Master of Science, Agriculture, Agribusiness and Management.
I confer the degree of Master of Science, Agriculture, Agribusiness and Management on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Mbalendle Mkhize, Acting Chancellor, Master of Science, Agriculture, Animal Science.
Confer the degree of Master of Science, Agriculture, Animal Science on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Victor Welcome Sitol, Ntanganipho Sam Zulu, Acting Chancellor, Master of Science, Hydrology.
I confer the degree of Master of Science, Hydrology on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Lisiba Vincent Magu. Go to the box. Denisha Pinasami, degree with distinction. Acting Chancellor, Master of Science, Microbiology.
I confer the degree of Master of Science Microbiology on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Snotile Nicodeme Lutul, degree with distinction. Serisha Naidu, degree with distinction. Nkanyiso Kelukutula Nkosi. Pakamani Hopewell Tsilo, degree with distinction.
So it needs to be conferred.
Okay. Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science, Honours, Botany.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours Botany on candidates whose names appear on the program. In absentia,
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science, Honours, Consumer Science.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours Consumer Science on candidates whose names appear on the program.
In the box.
Owethu Mhluzana. Nontsikelelo Sibahle Mbatha. Sibusiso Lungisani Mutloung.
This one and this one.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science, Honours, Hydrology.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours Hydrology on candidates whose names appear on the program. In absentia,
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science, Honours, Microbiology.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours Microbiology on candidates whose names appear on the program. In absentia,
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Consumer Science.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Consumer Science on candidates whose names appear on the program.
I will call Prof. Ntuli to call the names.
Asanda Nzimande.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Consumer Science, Hospitality and Tourism.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Consumer Science, Hospitality and tourism on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Promise Letukukhanya Shelembe.
All of them. This one. It's already called abstention. I'll ask DC first. We put it at the back. We'll come out. I'll ask first. Let's continue the rest. So this one was called in abstention, but it's here in Rosa. It's the student in Bachelor of Science Honours Psychology. We already called it in abstention. But can we talk about challenge? There's no challenge in this hospital in Forest. You just called challenge. Then this one. What's that? They were called in abstention. This one we have an equal.
There is a correction, congregation. Say it.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science Honours Hydrology.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Consumer Science Hydrology in candidates whose names appear on the program.
Nkululeko Qiniso Qel. Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science Honours Microbiology.
Confer the degree of Bachelor of Hydrology on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Xolisile Nondumiso Kunene.
It's going back to the degree. It's going back to the degree.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Consumer Science.
Confer the degree of Bachelor of Consumer Science on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Snethemba Thandiswa Biela. Samukelo Khetha Luthuli. Nhlanhla Andrew Madide. Samukelo Makhanya. Senamile Primrose Mathenjwa. Siyabonga Mathenjwa. Sindiswa Precious Mbatha. Ntombi zonke Ivy Mdletshe. Promise Nomthandazo Mhlongo. Nomzamo Thobeka Blessed Mjiyakho. Siphamandla Ntsika Mkhwanazi. Ayanda Sihle Motsa. Silindokuhle Siphumule Mpontshane. Thando lwethu nokuzotha Mthembu. Lungile Silindokuhle Mzamo. Luranda Ndimande. Precious Nomandla Nkosi. Nobuhle Valentine Qwabe. Nompumelelo Sinenhlanhla Shezi. Nosiphiwo Prayer Sithole. Nondumiso Carol Vilane. Zama Precious Zibisi.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Consumer Science, Hospitality and Tourism.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Consumer Science, Hospitality and Tourism on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Khuselo Nkanyiso Cele. Sethabile Sibusisiwe Chamane. Samgelwe Gcinaphi Dlamini. Sibongiseni Dlamini. Philasande George. Cela ukuthula noNduduzo Gina. Bongi Mathombi Gumede. Angel Ncebo Hlongwa. Sinenhlanhla Hlongwa. Thembokuhle Ignatia Khumalo. Thobeka Zandile Luthuli. Siphamandla Njabulo Mabaso. Nolwazi Ntomfuthi Makwasa. Nomfundo Valentine Mdletshe. Dumisile Sibonga konke Mdluli. Samgelisiwe Ntambo. Nolwazi Pretty Mpanza. Phumzile Mamazi Msweli. Ntando yenkosi Mthembu. Mmeli Myeni. Luyanda Cynthia Ngobese. Nomfundo Nomvula Ngubane. Sanelisiwe Ntuli. Thembeka Vuyelwa Shezi.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Nursing Science.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Nursing Science on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Nonkululeko Sinenhlanhla Biyela. Thembi Nkosi Dlamini. Gugu Sinethemba Dube. Nosipho Dube. Fanele sibonge Themba Bulelani Duma. Siphesihle Dumakude. Phindile Tokozo Gumbi. Phindile Jeza. Siyethaba Jeza. Princess Figelephi Khanyile. Nhlonipho Blessing Khowane. Fundisiwe Sithandiwe Khoza. Florence Khumalo. Bonisile Buhle King. Andiswa Lirumo. Buhle Thandolwethu Madwe. Ntombikhona Makhalana. Noxolo Betty Makhathini. Simile Wendy Makhunga. Mandla Mairi Masilela. Siphesihle Petunia Mathe. Sandile Sanele Siphelele Nkambi. Mpumelelo Bheka Mdletshe. Begisa Medi. Mandisa Nokulunga Mhlongo. Okay. Nomzamo Innocentia Mhlongo. Sibahle Xolile Mlambo. Love more Zanomusa Mtambo. Siqiniseko Mandisa Mthembu. Noluthando Nonkazimulo Mthethwa. Nompumelelo Malaleni Mthethwa. Sinalo Qotho Mthethwa. Mlungisi Mthiyane. Nontobeko Innocentia Mvelase. Sihawukele Melusi Ndawo. Royal Lungile Ndebe. Patricia Ayanda Nzuzo. Buhle Benkosi Ngema. Nokwanda Brightness Ngema. Nkosi yomusa ngubane? Sifiso Innocent ngubane? Nqubeko Mandlenkosi Nhleko. Talente Precious Nhleleni. Kwanele Ntsele. Seluleko Ntetha. Nomvuyo Zamabhele Ntuli. Olwethu Nxumalo. Simpiwe Sambulo Shongwe. Fundiswa Noluthando Sibisi. Siphesihle Andiswa Sibisi. Muzwandile Zithulele Evidence Sibiya. Sibusiso Sipho Thabethe. Mbali Valentine Vumase. Ndandatho Novelo Nokwethemba Xaba. Nkululeko Freedom Xulu. Bajabulisile Thobeka Zulu. Sabelo Zulu.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Nursing Science, Education and Administration.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Nursing Science, Education and Administration on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Nonjabulo Rejoice Bohlela. Togozo Dlamini. Cynthia Nonhlanhla Gumede. Sebenzile New Luthuli. Sibongile Joyce Mbatha. Benedicta Noluthando Mbuyazi. Ntombi zakithi Yvette Thandeka Shabangu. Zamokuhle Debra Sibiya. Sindisiwe Purity Sikhakhane. Busisiwe Patricia Thango. Bongiwe Thungo.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Science on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Nonkululeko Gumede. Nomonde Hadebe. Pumelelo Viona Madela. Minenhle Innocentia Mathenjwa. Winile Goodness Mchunu. Thembeka Nqobile Mtshali. Noluthando Ayanda Nhlenyama. Usisipho Noholoza. Ayanda Slungile Nwamba. Nokuphila Nomathamsanqa Nothabo Sokhela. Malusi Vukani Zitha. Thabiso Siqiniseko Zulu.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science, Agriculture, Agribusiness.
I confer the Bachelor of Science, Agriculture, Agribusiness on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Togozo Jabulo Cele. Andile Nontando Dladla. Buhle bemvelo Dube. Lindokuhle Lindiwe Lembethe. Nontobeko Sandisiwe Magubane. Mxolisi Trevor Sithole. Sifanele Sibiya. Sambulo Senkosi Zimisele Shange. Buhle Buzile Thabisile Ngidi. Ayanda Thembeka Mthethwa. Zamokuhle Gift Mpanza. Nomvuselelo Thandeka Mpanza. Andile Mpanza. Nompilo Mhlanzi. Nompumelelo Masuku. Bekezela Fortunate Masuku. Nomfundo Happiness Thusi. Zakithi Zulu.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science, Agriculture, Agronomy.
Confer the degree of Bachelor of Science, Agriculture, Agronomy on candidates whose names appear on the group.
Malbongwe Nomlando Dlamini. Asibonge Sibonelo Madela. Sibongiseni Bernard Malambule. Sibusiso Bheki Mbatha. Lindokuhle Thabani Mncube. Siyanda Mtambo. Thobile Mpanza. Mthobisi Mpontshane. Sithembiso Mhlakusayo Mtshali. Nelisiwe nothando kwanyana. Samgelisiwe Mbali Ntsele. Minenhle zamathombeni Hlokwane. Hlengiwe Shezi. Sanele Good Enough Perseverance Sibiya. Khaliso Sithole. Sithembile Ntimbane. Bongamandla Zulu. Zandi Ntombifuthi Zungu.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Science, Agriculture, Animal Science.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Science, Agriculture, Animal Science on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Londiwe Sinothile Biela. Thobeka Gwala. Sifundo Mhlonipheni Khanyile. Zanele Kunene. Nduduzo Njabulo Madela. Samgelisiwe Ignatia Magwaza. Buhle Sibekezelo Mamba. Busisiwe Princess Manyathi. Lulekwa Mavundla. Bongiwe Nontobeko Mavuso. Mbuso Frank Mbambo. Sethenjwa Banele Mbingo. Nozipho Mbuyazi. Yanda Sibonelo Mjadu. Kwanele Thuliswa Mkhize. Mbali zamakhuba Pungose. Sanele Senzo Msweli. Msawenkosi Mthethwa. Bawinile Precious Mthembu. Sibonga ukwanda Francis Mthiyane. Phindile Nonzuzo Zolile Ndlovu. Anele Akhona Nkosi. Nomzamo Nyawo. Nokubonga Phiri. Andile Simphiwe Shoba. Sifanele Sibiya. Zethembe Sifiso Sikhakhane. Sinenjabulo Zanele Sithole. Nelisiwe Somgunqu. Luyanda Qinisani Xaba. Halalisani Mbuyiseni Zulu. Sakhile Mncedisi Zulu. Nosipho Zwane.
Acting Chancellor, Diploma in Hospitality Management.
I award a diploma in sports and or in diploma in hospitality management on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Liamo Brett. Luyanda Kunene. Sibonile Mabiga. Nontuthuko Felicia Masuku. Sindisiwe Princess Mkhize. Siyamthanda Mkhwanazi. Nomthandazo Gugu Mngomezulu. Mbali Mulifi. Samgelisiwe Winfred Mthembu. Bonisile Lorraine Ndlovu. Sandisiwe Thandeka Tlangwini. Sanele Andile Ngoza. Mthunzi Siphesihle Ngqongo. Mthunzi Magnus Tshangase. Yoliswa Tolithembelihle Phakathi. Londeka Shongwe. Precious Phindile Sibiya. Smangaliso Judicious Zwane.
Acting Chancellor, Diploma in Sport and Exercise Technology.
I award a diploma in sports and exercise technology on candidates whose names appear on the form.
Thembinkosi Eric Bhengu. Praiseworth Cebolihle Chiyi. Khulani Chongo.
Gibeli pasi la gagithi. Ho, osi.
Nosipho Wendi Dlamini. Ngubeko Dlamini. Samgelisiwe Dlamini, the diploma with distinction. Togozo Happy Kumete. Princess Tenjiwe Kumete, the diploma obtained with distinction. Zipho Zonke Cyril Kumete. Fortune Tamsanqa Ndumiso Hlophe. Zethembiso Khanyile. Bongokuhle Braveman Khanyile. Nobukhosi Khumalo. Siphesihle Khuzwayo. Nokwanda Luthuli. Siphesihle Madlala. Thembelihle Madlala. Hlengiwe Magwaza. Fezeka Pearl Masuku. Thembelihle Mathenjwa. Nokwazi Mazibuko. Nompumelelo Nothando Mazibuko. Thandiwe Thimbiza Mbonambi. Zuzile Mdlanzi. Ayanda Nontobeko Mdletshe. Sifiso Lungani Mdletshe. Fanele Mdluli. Minenhle Siphesihle Natasha Mia, diploma with distinction. Sibonga konke Mia. Qiniso Nomandla Ntombi Zamambo Mkhize. Thobile Tholisile Mkhize. Ntuthuko Cyril Mthethwa. Phumlani Mthethwa. Mzi wakhe Sandile Mthiyane. Sithembele Ncube. Nokwanda Ndlela. Nontando Nomusa Ndlovu, diploma with distinction. Zama Ngobo, the diploma obtained with distinction. Simiso Ngobo. Busisiwe Ngidi, the diploma obtained with distinction. Wanele Siphephile Nkubane, diploma with distinction. Nothando Nomfundo Nkosi. Sihlobile Nokwanda Ntetha. Pinky Ntombela. Bheko kwakhe Tuthuko Tshangase. Mandisa Nxusa. Sibusiso Sabelo Nyawo. Shweshwe Paru. Philani Cedric Phungula. Asanda Candice Phungula, the diploma obtained with distinction. Baxolile Happiness Shabalala. Hlengiwe Pearl Shabalala. Simangele Samgelisiwe Hilary Shongwe. Ngobi Siphephelo Simelane. Nokubonga Nomlindelo Sithebe. Siphelele Zamokuhle Sithole. Nomfundo Wendi Tembe. Xolani Innocent Zimba. Bomikazi Zulu. Lindelani Sibonelo Zulu. Siphumelelo Nosipho Zulu. Silindile Nokubonga Zwane.
Oh, Lilizela, Lilizeli, ma. Hey, you will Lilizela. Oh, you will not Lilizela. Oh, Lilizela, Lilizeli, ma. Oh, Lilizela, Lilizeli, ma. I will Lilizela. Uma ngabizinde zodala. Hey, uma ngabizinde zodala. Hey, mntanami kusekhaya la. Kusekhaya la. Hey, uma ngabizinde zodala. Uma ngabizinde zodala. Wemntanami kusekhaya la. Kusekhaya la. Hey,
Thank you. Let us sit down so that we can do the last part of the ceremony. We're now going to award the Vice Chancellor's top achievers. In the morning, we awarded 2 graduates. Now we're going to award 3 graduates. I'm going to call the names and they should come up the stage. Zama Ngob. Zama Ngobo, Diploma in Sport and Exercise Technology. Pilasande George, Bachelor of Consumer Science, Hospitality and Tourism. Andiswa Lerumo, Bachelor of Nursing.
Acting Chancellor of the University, Prof. X. Mtose, Acting Vice Chancellor, Prof. Siepe, Chairperson of the Council, Ms. N. Kaluza, esteemed Senate members, Executive Management of the University of Zululand, President of Convocation, Mr. Nkwanyana, revered representative of Kwamkwanazi traditional authorities, Dean of Students, Dean of Faculties, lecturers, and the entire staff members. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I reserve special greetings for our graduates from Faculty of Science, Agriculture, and Engineering. It is such a pleasure to share this intensity of emotion filling this venue. As who are you graduating to close this chapter of your life story? Parents, you're probably wondering where the years have gone as you marvels at your sons and daughters' accomplishment. It doesn't seem that long ago when these young adults we honor today were toddling off to start kindergarten. Of course, living through these years between primary school, kindergarten, and graduation may have seemed like an eternity of the students and some of parents as well. Bazali bethu ngifisa ukudlulisa lamazwi kunina nonke nikhona namhlanje ukubonga ukuthi nisukela nisuka khona nashiya zonke izinto ebenzenza usungula namhlanje ukuzoba inathi ukuzosibungaza kulolu suku olukhulu lwanamhlanje. Siyabonga kakhulu, mhlawumbe singebonge ukufika kwenu usuku namhlanje kuphela, but sibonga ukuthi kusuka abafowethu laba nodade wethu from their first year unyaka wabo oqala befika evarsity kuze kube manje nibile nabo ni support system ukubona mhlawumbe university bengaba support academically, but uma beningekho nina ngemuva kwabo ukubaphusha nokubagqugqumezela mhlawumbe ngaba sikho la esikhona namhlanje. Ngalawo mazwi sifisa ukusho ukuthi siyabonga kakhulu, mhlawumbe imlomo eyizinkulungwane ukubonga singebe nayo, kodwa enhliziyweni zethu nasemphefumulweni wethu siyanibonga kakhulu. Graduate, you are the class of 2021. You graduate in a century still in its infancy, a time in history when our world is dealing with enormous challenges such as COVID-19, pandemic, unemployment, and inequality, perennial gender-based incidents, and so on. At a time when these opportunities created by these challenges have never been greater, innovation, creativity always think out of the box, and venturing in areas like entrepreneurship seem to be the only hope for our future. Today we are gathered here to celebrate the journey of a black child, the journey that is filled with challenges deriving from poor background. Yet we are gathered today to celebrate a victory of hard workers. We are joining our hands with young people from dusty streets of our country to celebrate this enormous victory. We rejoice because it has never been an easy journey for us as young black children, growing up in a society characterized by anti-educated stereotypes and drug abuse, and many challenges faced by young people in our country. But we know that education is the answer to all prevailing challenges of our epoch. Today, if I were to highlight one theme, it would be a theme of global passport offered to you by education. Education has power to change the world, to transform our past to a better future. It has the power to advance our social and economic potential. It can transcend gender, race, and income. Education is everything. You and I are all recipients. Young people, let it not end here, but we must challenge ourselves to take a fight against the high rate of unemployment and other ills, because I believe that it is us, young, educated people, who have the responsibility to take this country forward. The late President Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was a firm believer of the power of an educated mind, and had once shared these words: "It is not beyond our power to create a world in which all children have access to a good education. Those who do not believe have small imagination." As the SRC, we are so happy that you achieved this great milestone. We wish you all the great success and your dreams and career. Allow me to leave you with these positive thoughts from Vernon Howard to say, always talk through life as if you have something new to learn, and you will. Today mark the end of one chapter, but also mark the beginning of a new chapter. Keep learning, keep rising. In conclusion, I must comment that this important celebration of such a special milestone marks the next phase of your life, your future, and of course, such achievement, success have been possible through strong academic leadership and management of our wonderful university, Ungoye University of Zululand, our pride. My Unizulu, our Unizulu, or my Unizulu, your Unizulu, our Unizulu. Sengiqeda bafowethu engifuna ukusho kunina nonke bososayensi bethu abakhona endlini namhlanje ukuthi akekho ulamthutho ongagqoka lamagawuni eniwagqokile.
Mayiqale kube yakho le Unizulu President. Acting Chancellor Professor Mtose, Acting Vice Chancellor Professor Siepe, University of Zululand Management, academic and support staff, members of council present, President of Convocation, Mr. Nkwanyana and his executive in absentia, representatives of the Mkwanazi Traditional Authority, SLC representatives, President and SG, guest speaker, Mr. Sehlake, business partners, parents, guardians, relatives, and sponsors, as well as those who are watching this graduation online. You are all greeted and acknowledged. Of course, I have to render special greetings and acknowledgement to the graduates. I'm here as the chairperson of the University of Zululand Council, representing the council, not myself, just to give you the vote of thanks. And I want to commence our vote of thanks by stating that a graduation means and signifies many things to many people. It indicates progress, growth, and transformation. To the parents, guardians, and sponsors, it means the realization of their dreams and prayers. As from now, the situation will never be the same. In addition, for me, a graduation means peaceful and celebratory moment for any university, including this one. There is no strike, no disruptions, just celebrations and excitement, and that is the graduation season. My wish is that we can have graduation throughout the year so that we have peaceful years. I'm honored to share this momentous occasion with you to celebrate your hard work and achievements. We have risen to the challenges of the pandemic with resilience and courage. You embraced contact learning with all the challenges it came with. I know that many of you, including those who financially and emotionally supported you through your studies today, you are all thinking about the first day you came to this university. My wish is that all students from their first year throughout, they never forget the reason why they are in the university. Otherwise, there is a risk of forgetting that there is also this important day, which marks the end of the journey at a university. Today, you graduated against all odds. These odds include learning losses, teaching and learning stoppages, sometimes caused by unnecessary disruptions that have always managed to take the university backwards. Disruptions that meant that you can't have access to the laboratories.
disruptions that sometimes created a wall between you and your lecture rooms, disruptions that created a wall between you and your lecturers. These meant that at some point you slept having computers and all resources necessary to advance teaching and learning, and you woke up with ashes of what you had the previous day. I implore all of you in your future endeavors to invest in dialogue and quest to collectively work on solutions to whatever problems that you may encounter. As we celebrate with you, I even wish that the students that you are leaving behind in this university are also here, so that they are reminded about their being in this university. And I wish them to know that it is more like when you are booking a ticket, an aeroplane, there's a question, is it a written? Then you have to state, ukuthi ngiyahamba ngiya eDurban, ngiyabuya ngosuku oluthile. Your stay ku university in time frames, and any program has a duration yayo. If it's a 4-year program, it's a 4-year program. It cannot be an 8-year program. So, since the beginning of this 2022 graduation, you started on Monday. All speakers reminded us about the importance of education. Considering the consensus on the centrality of education in changing people's lives, it is clear that each student, like all of us, has a responsibility to love, protect, and treasure this university, for it remains the only thing that many working-class children have to ensure that they change their socio-economic standing. This graduation will remain a validation of your hard work and dedication through the deadly pandemic. And that is why the council of this university wants to congratulate you. This graduation places you in a good state to navigate through the challenges of life. I know that this does not mark the end. Already, some of you have set new goals for themselves. Evidence to this is that some of you have already registered for other programs. What I like about a graduation is that students inspire each other. There's one thing that I know, personally, I've experienced that. When you are graduating, you know, you don't sit nje noba kuphi. You are allocated a seat. With the discipline year graduation, you have to occupy that seat that is allocated to you. When you are graduating, uthola diploma, your wish is that engati next time I come back and I occupy that seat that is before me. Owenza i-masters uthi, you see, next time, yes, I'm in the front, kodwa I want the red gown. What a healthy competition. So, education is beautiful as it influences this healthy competition. Let us make education fashionable. So focus on your goals. You must never stop learning. I indicated that I'm here just for the vote of thanks, to be relevant on the mandate that I was given. I want to thank Bishop Makanya for the work he has done throughout this graduation from Monday, kuze kube namhlanje, for the word of God he has been giving to all graduates, parents, and everyone who joined the graduations. Also, I want to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Sehlake, firstly, for accepting the invitation, honoring the invitation, investing time preparing and presenting such an inspirational and insightful speech to our graduates and all of us. Thank you, Professor Mtose. I'm thanking you, firstly, for being such an actor. I think they must consider you in that other faculty. You are such an actor, acting as the chancellor of this university. But also, I want to thank you as Professor Mtose, who's the Vice Chancellor and Principal of this university. Like these graduates, you continue to steer this ship against all odds. It is not easy, I know, but with your team of DVCs and the executive, you continue to make us count on progress and good things that the university is doing. Counted among many successes is the increasing number of staff members who improve their academic achievements. The evidence, the number is the number of academic and support staff that have graduated kule period, noma kulama graduations ka 2022. Without giving the statistics, but I was watching and I'm comparing with the previous years, I can confidently say you are on an upward graph, and congratulations. I know that there are many staff members, but I do want to single out Smangele Hatebe, Spa Kumete, who's now a doctor, Begani Butelezi, Mr. Kribisa, and many others. VC, you'd remember some of the engagements we once had around 2018 when I became the chairperson. I said there is a need to also increase the number of women in the executive, in the management positions. And I'm happy that today, standing here, I know that we have you as the woman Vice Chancellor and Principal, 2 women DVCs. Of course, we have to acknowledge that it's not only women in the society. That is why we do have one among the 3 women. Congratulations. Congratulations and thank you for this great progress. Thank you, Registrar, Mr. Motilal and your team. I want to thank the Communication and Marketing Division, Ms. Ntlego and your team, Protective Services Division, Information and Communication Technology Division, Health Services System Kwanazi, and special thanks again to Dr. Mashama, who has been working at the back there since the graduation started. Thank you, and I know that you were very busy yesterday as part of your mandate. We thank the Dean of Students, Dr. Ngogazi. We thank the Deans of Faculties, the SRC President and SG. Collectively, you did everything in your power and authority to deliver this successful graduation over 5 days. After 2 years of virtual graduations. Sibonge kakhulu nakubasebenzi abancedisayo ngaso sonke isikhathi ukuthi masiqeda igraduation the following day we come iBhekuzulu Hall iclean ngendlela emangalisayo. I know that going back to the council, when the Vice Chancellor reported to council that a decision has been taken or there's a move that we have face-to-face graduations, there were doubts because of the number of graduates, the parents that will be coming, whether the university will manage to put controls in place and ensure that regulations are adhered to. I have a good story to tell, Ms. Masite, going back to council, that this management and everyone else made sure that whoever comes in adhere to the COVID-19 regulations. Thank you to those working behind the scenes, ensuring that those who joined the processions were properly dressed. Thank you to the university choir for the sweet songs they have sung, connecting us with our roots. On behalf of the University Council, I want to say thank you and congratulations to the class of 2021. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby declare this graduation ceremony officially closed. On behalf of the congregation, I would like to thank you and for your presence in this ceremony.